Run the Swift Launcher Configuration Wizard. If you run the launcher from the installer, this will happen automatically. You can run the configuration wizard at any time you need to configure something. We recommend you enable crash reports. This will send a bug report in case of a crash. Hint: we have a handy checklist you can use before the first flight. The license needs to be confirmed. In the data loading screen, you can follow the progress while Swift downloads the model and ICAO data. You should see a data count like indicated in the video. But there is not much for you to do, you can just move forward, loading will continue in background. Now you have reached the Copy Models screen. Swift allows to install multiple versions in parallel if you want to. Many users, for instance, use a 32-bit FSX and a 64-bit P3D version, or they install a developer version besides a more stable version. If you install Swift for the first time, there is nothing for you to do here. If you already have another version installed, you can copy data from that version. In the video it is shown how I would copy a model set and model cache from another version. Silent suppresses the copy confirmation screens. You could also copy your settings from another Swift version. First select the Swift version you want to copy from. Then you would select the settings you want to copy, either by selecting all or individual settings. Again, for a first installation you just skip that step. The simulator configuration screen. Some hints up front. You can change any of these settings later and enable more simulators as well. You can also change the settings in the pilot client. Use the checkboxes on top to set default values for those simulator drivers you want to enable. Then you set the directories for each simulator you want to use. Select the corresponding radio button, then check the simulator directory. Normally it is enough to set the simulator directory if it is not automatically pre-filled. You can see the pre-filled values in gray or by using the tooltips. If those values are already correct, do nothing, otherwise override the values. Now we have reached the first model set wizard. You can create a model set here. In the example you see we have no models loaded yet and no models in the set. We can configure that now for each simulator. As you see, the distributors change according to the simulator. Start by reloading the models for your simulator, that loads all models you have on disk. You see that in the models row now. Select the distributors you want to use, you then use all models for these distributors. Start small, use only 1 or 2 distributors first. In my example I use FLAI and FSX for my P3D simulator. Please understand the wizard is only a shortcut. Creating a model set in the mapping tool is much more sophisticated and offers more options. Create and save this set. You can see the model set in the pop-up and save it. Then you will see that in the model set row now. The installation screen offers some downloads for specific simulators. For FSX you should install the terrain probe, this is not shown. For X-Plane install Swift Bus, this part connects X-Plane and Swift, here I will not do it as I use P3D. Configure the push-to-talk key. Again you can also do that later in the Swift Pilot client. Done, configuration is completed. We will start Swift now. Correction, I did not mean to run the distributed version. Start the standalone version. Here we go, as said, read the checklist.